I am wearing this to protect myself from the 5G. I'm also wearing this because in my last Champion Showcase video on Cassandra Nova, I said this. If Cassandra Nova acted as a reverse Squirrel Girl and her entire damage ramp was based on restricting the opponent's combo meter, I would be impressed. And I shit you not 10 minutes after making that video, I checked in on Kabam's livestream where they gave a little teaser for Silver Samurai, and he seemed to be doing exactly what I complained about in that video to a T. And he actually does exactly what I complained about in that video to a T. So I'm wearing this to protect myself from Kabam's mind-reading death ray, and also because it's stylish. But anyway, before we get into the gameplay and before we get into the general commentary, one more thing to say. I'm getting really annoyed of having to showcase and road test new champions as 3 stars. Because if I'm honest, some champions do an awful lot better as 3 stars, and some are really held back as 3 stars. And Silver Samurai is one of those champions that is massively held back. If you remember my 3-star leaderboard from previous videos, Falcon Joaquin Torres seems to be more powerful than Carolina Dean. That is obviously bullshit, and Silver Samurai comes in far below both of them. So this has obviously gone slightly sideways, and Kabam, if you are watching these videos, I know you watch some of my videos, maybe not all of them, but if you are watching, drop your boy a line. I don't like you, you probably don't like me, but we can help each other, you know? Let me in that beta. I'll make some fun videos on Silver Samurai. We can help each other. But anyway, now, onto the general commentary and the gameplay. So what do you want to do with Silver Samurai? Well, you want to grant the opponent combo meter to then take them away to then deal enormous amounts of damage. I'm probably going to sound like a broken record by the end of this video, having to say it over and over again, but this guy deals enormous amounts of damage. And what the footage you are going to see today does not do him justice. He deals an insane amount of damage, and you're only going to see a taste of it. You're only going to get a taste of it today as a 3-star compared to what you will receive as a 7-star. Unawakened or Awakened. Awakened really does help his damage output, but Unawakened, absolutely fine by me. So what do you want to do? Well, ending your combo with a medium, as you can probably tell, grants the opponent 10 combo meter. Then, when you chuck off an SB2, it will consume the opponent's combo meter to place Daunteds on them. This increases the damage you deal during special attacks. Well, more accurately, increases the damage the opponent takes during special attacks, but it does the same thing. And if you cancel your heavy attack into a special attack, you place an overload passive, which deals red burst damage, depending on the amount of damage you do during the special attack. And this also gets boosted by your many Daunteds. If you throw an SB3, then there's potential for a lot of SB1 spamming with power efficiency, and potential for even more overload, meaning even more damage. This guy is tremendously simple. I believe it was Vega who pointed out that, when was the last time in 2025 you saw a character whose special attack descriptions all fit on one page? This guy basically says, do a thing, deal damage. That's what we want to do. We want to deal enormous amounts of damage really quickly and have a lot of fun, right? And that is what you're going to get when you play Silver Samurai. Now, in this video, you are going to see both the SB2 and the SB3 rotation out of this guy. So we just saw the SB3 rotation against Thor Jane Foster because she's a little bit beefier. However, against Gamora here, that SB2, I think that does absolutely fine. And one SB1 is basically all I'm going to need to execute Gamora here. So, Silver Samurai obviously deals an enormous amount of damage. That much is clear. But what about the utility department? I have seen many people, even in my own comment section, I think I put out a little bit of a warning about Silver Samurai in a previous video, but I mentioned that he deals a lot of damage, but some people are saying that he has absolutely no utility whatsoever. He has very little utility. He has quite a lot going for him. It may not be the most obvious utility in the world, but this guy, I have a feeling, when used correctly, when in the hands of a skilled player, is going to see quite a lot of use and has quite a lot of scope. First things first, damage is utility. If you end the opponent before the opponent ends you, then you have won the match, and that's important. A lot of people seem to forget that. Damage is utility. Second thing is access to Daunted, right? Daunteds relatively new mechanic. Onslaught obviously had them first in 2023, however since then very, very few characters in the grand scheme of things have had access to Daunted, and we are going to see them become more and more important over the coming months and years. There are plenty of prowess lanes that exist, both in AW but also in Act content and special content, and I'm fairly sure we are going to see Daunted-based nodes and Daunted-based challenges in the future. This tinfoil hat, let me know if it gets irritating in the comment section. I think it's just funny. But yeah, we're going to see plenty of use for the Daunted mechanic in the future, meaning this guy's only going to get more useful as time goes on. The third thing is, this guy is 100% resistant to bleed. Now, bleed is a very common immunity, however, resistance is better because you can take advantage of willpower, and it's always nice to have some sort of resistance or immunity to an effect. He has a completely unique way of ramping up, right? There are plenty of defenders this guy is not going to be able to take. He is, of course, very, very good for your lane of Bulova. He, of course, is very, very good for Bullseye with his reinforced passive, making him immune to critical hits. He is very, very good for Korg with all of his attacks dealing energy damage. He is very, very good for a bunch of matchups, and he is going to fall ill to champions like Killmonger or Atumo because he doesn't necessarily have a way around Thorns, but also champions with lots of critical resistance, so champions like Red Skull or Sentinel, you know, natural tech defenders he's going to maybe be a little bit slower for, but he's going to be fine in general. Those are not massive drawbacks at all, to say the least, and you know, no one, despite that, is going to stop you from granting them combo, and no one is going to stop you from consuming combo, right? These are two entirely new mechanics, apart from, obviously, Cassandra Nova's heavy attack consuming combo, but the idea of granting combo and then taking it away to ramp up, no defender in the game is going to counter that, no node in the game is going to counter that, and besides the obvious, you know, I'm sure you can think of some nodes that will screw this guy over, like Caustic Temper. Apart from the obvious nodes, no node is going to explicitly deal with that. So that mechanic, at least for now, is completely safe, unless some champion has a way of combo locking themselves. That would be a little bit too sell the disease, sell the Curie for me, and I would start shouting. But anyway, Silver Samurai has an awful lot going for him, and in the middle of that rotation I dropped in stuff about the Reinforce and the Bleed Resistance, which is good, but it also means that he has quite a lot of defensive potential, but it's fair defensive potential, it's balanced defensive potential. It's the sort of defensive potential that I like. How many times can you say defensive potential in a single sentence without tripping up? I think I did that pretty well. But yeah, this guy has a lot of skill-based defensive threats. Once you go past 50 combo meter, you will have that permanent reinforced passive applied to him, which means he's immune to critical hits. So if you do have a champion that relies on crits, that was a diabolical intercept, by the way. But if you are running a champion that relies on crits, don't expect to get very far once you reach 50 hits in your combo meter, because you won't be able to get rid of that, and that's bad. But also, you know, his SB1 projectiles have travel time. It is very easy, very possible to mess up that dex. First time I actually saw a Silver Samurai in Battlegrounds, it was on defense. Somebody placed Silver Samurai on defense. Luckily, I had Juggernaut to hand, and he just wiped him from the surface of the earth. But I did get clipped by his SB1 with a critical hit, and if I was using a champion that was not permanently unstoppable, that would have tickled. That would have tickled quite a lot, you know. If your combo meter builds up, if he places Daunteds on you, if you get hit with a special attack, that's gonna hurt. And like using those health potions, that also hurts. So this guy has a little bit of defensive flavour as well, which is absolutely fine by me. I don't object to defenders in general. It's too many of them, and when they go too far that I get ticked off, but this is definitely not too far. Now for the general bit. Now for a little bit of holistic talk, you know. Not necessarily talking about the champion, but you came for a Matty MCOC video, and I don't always talk necessarily about the gameplay on the screen. So this guy is good. I like this. Kabam, if you're watching, I have been highly critical of your champion design in recent months, going so far as to publish a 40-minute critique on that, which you should definitely check out if you haven't already. I'm going to keep shamelessly plugging that video until the end of time because it gave me a heart attack while I was making it, and I'm going to advertise it if it kills me. But look, this is definitely a step forward. So Silver Samurai is a very powerful champion that has earned you thousands of pounds, that is a cure to a disease, but works as a standalone champion. In terms of champion design, opening up design space, standard power creep, whatever you want to call it. This guy is leaps and bounds ahead of champions like the Maker, ahead of champions like Gentle, ahead of champions like Falcon Joaquin Torres, ahead of champions like Cassandra Nova. I could fucking go on, but I'm not going to. You get what I mean. This guy works in terms of champion design, and I would love to see tech defenders in the future that can obviously deal with Daunted. That's going to have to come out, but that don't just combo lock themselves. Can we not do that? Can we not do that? Can we just have a breed of defenders coming out that through very simple mechanics deal with damage levels that we see in Silver Samurai? Right, can we have that, please? Without, and I know you're already writing this down. I know you're seeing how good this guy is, and you're saying, right, we're going to combo lock future defenders. I can see it. Stop it. Right, I know what you're doing. Can we not have that? And can we just have someone with crit resistance, please? Like, seriously, I don't mind that. Whole breed of Cosmic Champions coming out that don't rely on big yellow numbers anymore because of Arnim Zola. Why can't we just have someone with reinforcing the tech class, please? It'll be really, really easy. It'll be really, really easy. And also, you know, some smarty pants with Onslaught could probably get around it with Degen. But yeah, look, that's basically all my notes. I'm also, this was diabolical as well. I don't know what that heavy reach was, but Rogue got off scot-free there, and that's really, really annoying, and it's going to mean that this fight is around 90 seconds instead of what it should be, which is around 40 seconds. Like, because now I've lost my unblockable, and that means that, yeah, now all of the combo meter is gone. Oh, sorry, all of the, combo meter is gone, and I have absolutely no damage output, and I just have to punch Rogue until she's dead, and that is very, very disheartening, to say the least. Okay, well, now I guess I can commentate on the rest of this video. So here we are about to finish up Rogue, and we have 2 more fights. Something else, a bit of a problem with running my leaderboard, is tech characters get overwhelmingly better and faster results because of the quadruple mutants at the end of this lane, and a champion in the skill class is massively disadvantaged because they have to go through Deadpool, X-Force, and Rogue, and then Cable, and then Archangel. And Archangel is actually quite a difficult boss to be going through with a 3-star. So, that's frustrating. But we do have Cable, and then Archangel. I think the Archangel boss, I think I went for the SP2, and then I went for the SP3 rotation, and he was playing silly buggers as usual. This AI is actually starting to tick me off, right? I do this lane so many times that A, the AI really ticks me off, and I've started using health potions just to make sure I don't get clipped. But B, actually, I am now out of energy refills. I'm having to use units to make content. That's really, really annoying. I know that we're talking a lot about the energy crisis in some areas, and Kabam have responded to that. However, removing energy refills from those crystals, whatever bullshit use you want to make for that, about how, you know, most items that come out of that crystal aren't used, look at my item stash. I don't care. Give me refills. Up the amount of refills in there. Maybe we would open them instead of having them sitting around forever. It's like, oh, but there's this tiny problem, so we'll just remove the good thing. No, that's really shitty. That doesn't make any sense to me. There should be energy refills in daily quests that don't cost a full energy bar to complete. There should be energy refills in EQ. There should be energy refills, maybe discount them a little bit, maybe make them 25 units or something. You know, there are plenty of ways of making the energy economy better while keeping it a thing and not having the issues we have right now. Because obviously, it's annoying for most people. It's especially annoying for me because I have to make content. And yeah, here you can see the final interaction, the final boss interaction. So this guy will start with his power efficiency while fighting against final boss nodes. He will also grant the opponent 20 combo flat, which is nice. Means ramping up against, for example, a Yelena Belova on boss node is really, really easy. And I'll tell you what, might just be my alliance, but my alliance has seen an awful lot of boss node Yelenas because they are such a massive stall. Right, even my rank 4 Jean Grey, without perfect gameplay and the maximum amount of boosts, even that can be a timeout or a death. Right, with Jean Grey. And Jean Grey's mad, so it's really nice to see just champions coming in that can better handle that with bigger damage output. You know, just more damage is always welcome. Obviously, nobody is ever going to be able to compete with Cull Obsidian, another reason why I kind of want to ditch this leaderboard thing and just finally get on the CCP is because past a certain point, you're not going to get any faster. And I know I said that about Cyclops, and then Cull Obsidian came out, but I am fairly sure Cull Obsidian is the end of the road in terms of damage output. Like, I'm going to make another video on Cull Obsidian, but frankly, this is it. You do not hit any harder than this guy, especially not in this sort of content. But actually, I might have misremembered this fight. So here, actually, one damage rotation with the SP2 and SP1 spam was enough to get this guy, you know, the majority of the way down. And you can see here, this is what I'm talking about with the AI. Go for a dash attack. No, you wait a second. You throw a full combo into block. Dash at me. There we go. Eventually we get it. That actually didn't look so dramatic, but when I was playing the game at the time, it was very, very dramatic. And that is it for Silver Samurai. I'm sure if I had access to higher rarities, and I didn't have to just grab him from Arena, I would 100% be bringing you more content on this guy. I think he's really, really cool. Is he worth the 300 or 400 quid or however much he's worth from the sale? Absolutely not. No character is. But if you are that way inclined, there are worse champions to use it on. And that is just about all I have for you today. So if you have made it this far, then congratulations. You have an attention span greater than that of a goldfish. And goodbye.